We move on to our second bout of the evening, K1 over 3 2-minute rounds of action, matched at 58k. Would you welcome first into the blue corner, representing legend Muay Thai London, Jawad, Uddin. And would you welcome his opponent into the red corner, representing the Coventry MMA unit, Uddin, Muhammed. Rounds of K1 action. Uddin in the blue, Muhammed in the red.
Come on, Uddin, bismillah, let's do this.
We move on with K1 over 3 2-minute rounds of action. Jawad Uddin from Legends Muay Thai in London against Coventry MMA units Uddin Muhammed in the red. And Shah, there'll be a slight height advantage for Obi, but with everything, it's one thing to have the tools, it's knowing how to use them. So we'll see when the bout starts if he can use that to his advantage.
Certainly, I think Obi will be looking to get inside the taller fighter and utilise his game plan from there. So our first K1 fight of the night, which is sanctioned by ISKA.
And there, as Mick Folds bring them together, you can clearly see the height advantage for Uddin Muhammed in the red corner. And with the ISKA K1 rules, Shah, when you grab the leg, you must knee or strike immediately and release. There is no sweeps allowed, no spinning back fists under these amateur rules, and no knees to the head.
Yeah, I think the officials, when they went through the rule set earlier on, all fighters had to acknowledge that. So I'm sure none of them want to sort of get penalised for any such fouls. Saying that some big leg kicks here from Uddin Muhammed coming in there from the MMA unit.
And what I like is after that front push kick, coming in with the hands over the top. And often when a fighter does that to you, opens his arms, it means, yes, you've caught me.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, whether that's a sign of confidence or whether he was hurt, we're about to find out.
But as you mentioned, a very solid start from Uddin Muhammed, working behind those low leg kicks, and then the front push kick, and then the hands over the top. And at the moment, he's using that range nicely, Shah.
He really is. I mean, Jawad Uddin, he ate a few hooks there. It was a quick kick coming in from Muhammed, and he sets it up beautifully, and that certainly woke up the Legends Muay Thai fighter.
Well, you and I were at the judges' briefing, and one of the things made clear with this K1 rule set is they are looking for the power and the damage, the techniques that really move the opponent. They said you can be as flashy as you want, but we're looking for the movement. We're looking for those power techniques.
Yeah, I mean, I think they everyone wants to see a knockout, and obviously the more aggression the fighter shows, it's certainly going to look good for him in front of the judges. Don't know what's quite happened there.
It's the toe. The big toes come out of the shin and insteps there, and it's a good time for him to stop because Uddin was under pressure there. And what I like with Uddin Muhammed is the variety of his work, and traditional K1, the hands high, then bringing the legs underneath.
Yeah, he's certainly setting them up more. I've seen Jawad Uddin sort of throw single shots, and Uddin Muhammed is certainly putting these combinations together. I think what Uddin needs to do is set the hands up with the legs, and Muhammad is doing a better job of it.
Yes, I agree with you. It's his timing, his movement. He's waiting for Jawad to come in, and there was a sneaky little knee that almost caught the cheek of Jawad, which is illegal in this amateur rule set, but it just shows how much in the zone Uddin Muhammed is.
Yeah, I think the guys have to be careful. I mean, it can easily happen, especially when a guy is coming in with his punches and your opponent is going for a head kick. The knee will come up, especially if he's throwing the fake knee to the to the overhead. It can certainly happen, but that's round one out of the way there, Malcolm, and an interesting first round.
Well, picking up on your observation, I think the difference between the two men is Uddin's looking for those powerful but single shots. For me, Uddin Muhammed has got that flow going and that variety of technique and the combination work.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's certainly going to see him winning the fight in the judges' eyes. And the smooth movements, he's doing the basics, which is setting the hands up with the legs, and whereas Uddin is going for the more, as you said, more of the power knockout shot. More effective is the combinations in my eyes.
I agree with you there. So 1 down, 2 to go on our unofficial scorecards, because there's 3 highly qualified judges who will give you the official scores. But on our unofficial scorecard, we've got Uddin Muhammed working well to that first round, taking that 10-9 for us. But Uddin there just shook his fist at his corners to say, yep, I've had the talking to. You're going to see a different act in the second round. And being honest, he needs it. He needs a good second round. And he needs to keep Uddin Muhammed at bay, because when he gets fluid, he's good to watch, isn't he?
No, he's throwing venom behind those punches, even if they are coming into single shots. So we're into round 2 now. Again, Uddin starts off with a roundhouse kick to the ribs. It's not really affected Muhammed too much.
Well, the thing is, to put it simply, Shah, he seems more methodical, doesn't he? You can almost see the thought process behind the technique before it comes.
That's right, yeah. Muhammed seems to be timing his punches really well. He's waiting for Uddin to come in. Uddin, I don't know whether he was showboating there a little, whether he got caught and was trying to give the indication to his opponent that his shots are not really causing him too much problems.
Well, as you know, showboating can be a number of different things, and one, it can be born of frustration, or it can be, as you said, you've been hurt and you're trying to show you're not. I think for Uddin, it's probably that frustration, because the range of this bout has been dictated by his opponent.
Certainly has. There's also been a few potential low blows from Uddin there. You've seen Uddin Muhammed look up at the referee a few times to highlight that there was a low blow, but actions carried on. The referee wants to see, as you said earlier, a power performance.
Well, the thing is as well, with these low blows, he's against a taller opponent. You're allowed legally to go to the inside and the outside of the thigh. So there isn't much room for manoeuvre, and mistakes can happen regularly here. But Obi has shaken it off and carried straight on.
He has. And I tell you what, I love the way he throws that teep, even though technically he's jumping in with it, but he's closing the distance down. And it's certainly causing Uddin some sort of degree of problems.
Well, as you saw, they're not even setting up the right hand now. He's just throwing that with confidence as he comes through, this time to the body. But Uddin is, just for me, just beginning to look to get his own combination work going.
Now he has, I think round one was more of a warm-up round for him. Uddin's kind of like not throwing as many combinations as he was in the first round, and I think as an educational forefront, Uddin's sort of taken that on board, and he's actually doing what Muhammad Obi was doing in the first round.
Now, that's 2 rounds down, and as we said, I feel by the end of the round, Uddin, as you rightly said, was just beginning to find his form and his combinations. But when you look at the full 2 minutes, you could still probably make a case for Obi Muhammad throughout that round.
Certainly, I think you're right there, Malcolm. Obi Muhammad's landing the cleaner shots. Again, even though he's not throwing as much combos as he was in the first round, he looks a more smooth, more seasoned fighter, to say.
But for me, we saw hope for Jawad Uddin at, say, probably the last 30 seconds of that round, when he started to try and put Obi under pressure with that left-right combination and the right leg underneath.
You're right, Mark. I think Uddin feels he's actually connected a few more punches. I think he actually felt he actually hurt his man a few times there, and that might be a bit of a confidence factor going into this third and final round. He felt confident towards the end of that round. Maybe he thinks he's won that. The arms came out wide in confidence, so his body language certainly states that he feels that he may have pulled one round back.
Well, I'm not so certain myself on that, but I do feel that it leaves us with a third round that if one man really takes by the scruff, could influence the judges.
It certainly could. It's not as close as it was. It's closer now than it was in the first round. So let's see what Jawad Uddin can produce here to claw this fight back.
Well, an intense stare down from the 2 young men. That's how much it means to them in front of this huge crowd here tonight. And that was beautiful work. The catch and then the punch and the release. Technical excellence there.
Yeah, beautiful combinations there. He's landing the cleaner punches again. Uddin is throwing big power shots himself now. And both fighters are certainly coming forward now. And I think I'd like to see Uddin keep his hands up a little bit more, because he's very vulnerable, for the cross. I've seen Obi throw the hook cross quite a few times in this fight today.
Now, that said, a nice right hand from Uddin. You mentioned earlier, Shah, that you think Uddin might think he has the power, and that single right hand did come snapping over the top. Obi took it well.
Well, Obi Muhammad's coming forward now. His cornermen are urging him to come forward because they feel their fight is a stronger fighter, and saying that he's actually taken on some of that advice.
Well, I think his corner's right. They don't want Jawad Uddin to get up ahead of steam as he's trying to get here in the third after the work that Obi's done in the first and second. But like you said before, I think Jawad has got that bit of confidence now. He's come forward, especially with the boxing, and I think Obi's corner are trying to negate that and saying, you better come forward again.
Yeah, they know what's working for their man, and he's certainly doing that. He's just taken that instruction again. As soon as Uddin tries to attack, Obi Muhammad's there with his combinations, and they're paying off.
And as you say that, a nice right round kick to the head of Jawad Uddin. And as I said, there's that methodical approach of the blue corner. He does walk forward before he does his work, giving Obi that time. Yeah,
and that's certainly going towards, against him even. And now he's getting backed up against the cage from Obi Muhammad. He's eating that overhand. He's eaten that overhand quite a few times today. He's not keeping his hands up, and he could end up paying for that.
Well, he's blinking heavily, and as Shah said, he's eaten 3 or 4 right hands, and there's the bell. And I think if we were in any doubt, Shah, that big finish from Obi, probably the exclamation mark of his performance.
I have to agree. I think that might have sealed this fight for him now, and I think the red corner may walk away this victorious.
Yes, a very good bout as well. Our second bout this evening, 2 excellent bouts, very strong competitors. But like Shah, I also believe that the judges will err in favour of the red corner, especially the last 30 seconds of that third round.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always tonight, please, let's hear it for both your boxers in this ring after 3 hard rounds of action. And they have taken us to a split decision in favour of the blue corner, Jawad Uddin.